Welcome back to the Ed Show. Conservatives are so far off the rails, they now call progressive ideas communist. Congressman Allen West has now been joined by Bill O'Reilly. Congressman West was going to be the keynote speaker at the local chapter of the NAACP annual fundraiser in Martin County, Florida, but they withdrew the invitation after West said the Congressional Progressive Caucus were members of the Communist Party. The NAACP's local president said there's a certain statement he made about communists. We do not represent that type of atmosphere. Of course, West is not the only one calling people communists. Here's Bill O'Reilly.
All right, Robert Reich. You know Robert Reich?
I do indeed.
He's a communist. You know that, right?
Communist/socialist.
Okay.
Confused.
The guy secretly adores Karl Marx and is up there in Cambridge. Okay, now, he says that because the U.S. companies are now multinational, that the government now has to step in to make sure that our economy is good. Roll the tape.
Now they are global. So if we don't have a government that is investing in our people, in education, in job skills, in infrastructure, in public transportation, basic research and development, all the things we need government to do, we can't expect that big corporations are going to do it.
And I'm joined tonight by Robert Reich, former labor secretary under the Clinton administration, now a professor at UC Berkeley and author of the book Aftershock. Let's see. I think the comment was secretly adores Karl Marx. Mr. Reich, good to have you with us tonight. Have you ever been a member of the Communist Party? Let's get to that first.
No. It's like being back in the 1950s. I mean, this communist witch hunt that suddenly has been launched. I mean, the irony, Ed, is there are not even many communists left in the world today. It would be one thing if we were back in the 1950s, but there's not a communist threat. What are these conservatives, these right-wingers like Bill O'Reilly? They have nothing else to say, nothing else to do. They don't have arguments. They don't have logic. They don't have any analysis. What do they have? They don't have facts. What do they have? They just simply have the same old epithets and slurs they've been using for the last 60 years.
Well, they're calling basic ideas of what government does communists and socialists. And I think there was even a comment made about the private sector taking care of our infrastructure. I didn't know the private sector did schools and bridges and roads and such stuff as that.
The private sector doesn't. And for Bill O'Reilly to say that simply because I am suggesting that it is a role for government to invest in schools and infrastructure and basic R&D, that makes me a communist. Bill O'Reilly, you don't know what you are talking about. You have absolutely no sense of history. You have no understanding of government. You have no understanding of our society. Debate me head-to-head, person-to-person, like a man.
You would debate Bill O'Reilly face-to-face on this issue?
I'll debate him anytime, any place, anywhere. I've let him know this. But he doesn't have the guts to debate. He doesn't want to debate. All he wants to do is issue his epithets like, oh, Reich is a communist, as if that's actually advancing any argument.
Well, I think my friend Reverend Sharpton ought to ask official invitation to the National Action Network to have both you and Bill O'Reilly come to their next meeting, and let's see this debate. I mean, I'd love to see it because, you see, what the Republicans and the conservatives are saying right now is that we have to totally change our thinking as a country, the way we used to invest in job training, the way we used to invest in infrastructure to create jobs in our economy. They don't believe that anymore. It's all about the profit, not the people.
You know, to call them conservatives is a misnomer because somebody who's a conservative wants to preserve what we have. These guys don't want to preserve what we have. They want to go back to before the New Deal, before Social Security, before Medicare in 1965, before unemployment insurance in the 1930s. They want to go before we had any things that actually solidify our society, make it possible for people to have even a modicum of economic security. Yeah. They want to go back to what we considered to be the dark ages in America not that long ago.
And Mr. Reich, you have written extensively numerous times about tax fairness. It's very clear where the Republicans are right now. They're going to do everything they possibly can to protect the wealthiest Americans and actually give them more with a philosophy that they don't get enough. In the meantime, make the downtrodden, the poorest, the working poor in this country serve up more. Seniors, the elderly, also, should we say, students going to school and whatnot, but also veterans. Have you ever seen an attack This is a class warfare attack, in my opinion. They're favoring one group and making everybody else pay the bill. How do you see it?
Well, what they're saying now, that Mitt Romney, Paul Ryan budget is it makes trickle-down economics look like a torrent. I mean, it's reverse Robin Hood. It's social Darwinism. I mean, we haven't seen anything like this in this country in modern times. I mean, under Dwight Eisenhower, Ed, the top marginal income tax rate on the super rich in this country in 1950s was 91%. The effective rate, after all deductions and tax credits, was up about 56, 58%. And that was a Republican president. That was a Republican in the White House. I mean, where are these people now? Mitt Romney is paying, 13.9% taxes on $21 million, and he offers up more tax breaks for the very, very rich. With the rest of us, what's going to happen to the rest of us? I mean, not only Medicare and Social Security and all of the programs that we've come to rely on being sacrificed on the altar of tax cuts to the rich, but also he wants to restore all of the military cuts. I mean, what in the world is going on here? Why aren't people more enraged? I think we need to get beyond outrage and actually make sure that not only is Barack Obama the next president again, but also the Democrats take back Congress and take back this country.
Robert Reich, author of the brand new book, Beyond Outrage. Thank you for joining us tonight.